How do you learn who you really are? It's not found in books. It's found on the battlefield. What's up, Warriors? My name is Rick. I am the creator of the Warriors Way mindset, and we rebranded the whole thing. This was the Everything is a Choice program, and now we're going to go into the way that we've been training people for the last few years is we turned everything over into a Warriors mindset. It's because it's not about coping or dealing with things. It's about combat, fight. And so we train with proven methods, and we're going to go through some of those things in each episode. I've been doing other podcasts and doing more things. So I'm switching things over this direction to share more and give people more opportunity to get information while they're just hanging out doing their things to grow. And it's not about just talking about feelings. It's not about just telling people like, hey, here's some ideas. And then I hope you can go and figure out a way to mantra through it or just hope that it all works out for you because you saw a meme or a happy idea. No, we're going to talk about things that work. We're going to start talking about here's the stuff that's working for people. We give opportunities. This isn't to sell. This is just to tell. I want to make sure you guys know we have programs. We work in groups. We also have one-on-ones. We have do-it-yourself options. We have information that you can just get the book. We've got a free download for the first book. We just created an audio book we're putting out. We're doing stuff to try to do as much for need and far less than greed because we need to help as many people as possible because people right now are taking medication or just trying to deal with it in their default program and do not understand how do I actually defeat some of these thoughts. And make no mistake, the hardest battlefield is not around us. It's inside us. It's in here. It's in our minds. And so we're going to go over some awareness stuff today. I want to bring back awareness. Now, this is, of course, is still going to be the tip of the iceberg in comparison to how far this can go, but it's needed to be said that whenever we're training in the Warrior's Way, we have to have this tool. And that's why I'm starting off with this again. Without awareness, you can't make a choice that you don't know exists. You can't do it. If you don't know there's an option, if you don't know there's a thing there that you can do, how are you supposed to make an educated decision? How are you supposed to plan accordingly? How can you adjust or be flexible for things that you don't even know are happening? And oftentimes we don't know what we don't know because we're not trained that this is a skill. You're not just born with high awareness. You have to practice it. Now, awareness of what? Is it just, did I see the things around me? It starts there. It does start objectively. It does start with what we call the objective perspective. Can you just see what it is? Before we add in the assumptions, which did you catch the assumptions and are you aware that those are there? Before we add in our experiences from the past, well, this happened before, and so it must mean this, as though we just create this whole new possibility as a future and call it reality. This gets into all these different things that we do on autopilot. How do you cope with things? When things are not in control, what way do you deal with it? Are you fight, flight? Do you retreat? Do you surrender? Are you a negotiator and you have to talk and talk until you can try and get control of the situation? What do you do? Are you aware? Do you treat people with the golden rule? Are you aware of even how small this gets? This gets into like, how many things are around you? How many breaths did you take? How do you breathe? What kind of style is your style? What goes into the ways that you talk or handle things with people? Did you notice things about them? Do you notice things about yourself? It's in every single thing. And every choice that you make leads you to another choice. And you could probably go back to multiple decisions in your life, like going on the first date with your husband or wife, taking that job that you were at for a really long time. What if you didn't take that job? You start looking at the causality of things and how big this really can get. It gets into every single thing that's around you, every choice you make, every meal you eat, all the way down to the existential, which gets into the, what's my purpose in life? It's everywhere around us and we don't notice it. I mentioned before in another podcast I did with people, there was a guy named Chris Brady who said, what's the difference between a very successful or a millionaire or somebody who has all these success traits and somebody who's struggling or is flat broke? He said it's not because he's got more arms and he can get more done in a day. It's not because he's got more legs and he's faster. It's because the way that he sees, he has a different awareness. Where most people see tragedy, most people see problems, they complain. Somebody who has a success mindset, has an awareness of opportunities, sees that, you know what, there's a chance here for me to actually solve that problem. And I can help a lot of people if I do. It's just recognizing that the opportunities are everywhere around us. But if you have a block on awareness, if you're sitting there inside of yourself and saying, I don't need that, I'm already good, this is where we get in our own way. We become our own problem. We become our own castle. We become our own prison. And we don't see what's around us all the time because we try and keep ourselves safe from the unknown. And because we don't know yet, I don't even want to entertain the idea because unknown could be bad because it's unknown, even if it's way better. But I don't want to go into that aspect of it. And that starts playing into fear, starts playing into denial, starts getting into different parts that we may not even be aware that we're doing because we're calling it protection. How aware are you? I have a lot of exercises that we do. What are your values? Do you know your core values? How do you set boundaries around the healthy boundaries around your values if you don't know what your values are? What are your strengths? How do you triple down on your strengths if you don't know what they are? What is your personality type? What are your love languages? What are the ways that you interact with people? What are your needs? Do you even know what they are to be able to articulate them? How do you want to be? And are you moving in that direction? Do you have any goals or do you even know what you want? So many of these questions it gets people so confused. Let's go ahead and get into some of the ones where I love words. We use words to communicate. You're listening to my words right now. And then let's go ahead and talk about some of the words that we find very important to us. And then how do we even have the awareness of whether we have that or don't have that? How do we quantify it and how do we even measure? Words like love. What is it? Trust. What is it? Please tell me what it is. I would like to do that. Respect. What is it? I'd like to know what respect is. Joy. Happiness. I got tons of these words. We live our lives telling people this is what we want. I'm like, all right, that sounds great. What is it? They're like, well, it's earned. And I'm like, I'll earn it. How many of what? How many whats do I have to earn until I have trust or love or respect? How many do I have to do? And it starts getting very confusing because, man, I really lived my life by saying, I need you to be respectful. But I couldn't even tell you what this is. I don't have the awareness of the breakdown on some of these words, which I will be giving you the breakdown on how they work in different episodes. But right now, I just want to raise the awareness of look how much you didn't know that you didn't know. And it's around us all the time. Same thing with happiness. So like when we do the training on that, we just did a webinar and we did the blips in life that are found in nouns and the breakdown on what happiness even is, which may even just be a good correlation with awareness today. What the heck is happiness? I want it. You want it. Everybody's searching for it. Harvard classes fill up about it. And we're trying to go, well, what is it? I want it. I want happiness so bad. I want it. But what is it? Hell is happiness. So we broke it down and said it's the blips in life that are found in nouns, sometimes verbs, but blips in life. What's a blip? What the hell is a blip? What are you talking about? That can't be the answer. A blip is just a temporary moment in time. It's meant to be fleeting. It's not meant to last. And so it's supposed to be here only for a short time. And that was what makes it so special. What is time? Time, or what is life? Life is how we measure time. So how long do you live? And this is during that timeline. This is how I can measure what happened in that time. It's a blip in life. And it's found in nouns, people, places, things. Sometimes it can be verbs and activity you'll have to do, like skiing, hunting, painting, whatever, dancing. And so sometimes it can be in that, but usually it's associated with dancing with somebody or painting something people, places, things. In any case, so the blips in life that are found now means that everything around you that's happening is meant to only be here for a short amount of time. It's designed that way on purpose. But are you aware that these temporary, fragile, beautiful, never to repeat themselves moments, they're happening all the time? You're constantly surrounded by all of these beautiful blips, these blessings all around us. And yet we call our blessings mundane, average, so no big deal. How hard did you work to have the blessings around you? I don't care what it is around you. I don't care if it's the chair you're sitting in, if it's a coffee cup you're drinking out of, if it's the shirt you're wearing. You had to do something to get these things. There was some sort of effort or work that had to be put in, whether cultivate a relationship or whether it be doing the hard work to get the money to do it. And don't you see, you have earned these beautiful blips around you. This will not be there forever. Nothing lasts forever. It just doesn't. Everything changes. Everything evolves. which means these fleeting moments are meant to be captured with our perception and our awareness of real time. I'm in one of those moments, the moment when we smile at somebody we care about, the moment that we're able to share a moment and love and amplify the feelings around that and go, hey, can I share something with you because you're important to me? Check out this victory. Check out this thing that I won. And do they even have the awareness to listen? Can they even say, I want to hear and I'm excited for your victories? We're surrounded by them all the time, yet we miss them. We miss them. Let's get into your default program, just the way that you operate. What are the habits? Are you aware of your habits that you do, or do you have a cognitive dissonance about it? This is where you know the right answer, but you do it anyways. I know I'm not supposed to smoke, or I know I'm not supposed to eat all this sugar. I know I'm supposed to work out. But, and then what are the excuses or the denial that you have around the things that you know, let alone the stuff you don't even know you don't know? Awareness is in everything. It's all over. You're surrounded by it. And it's huge. It's so big, we delete most of it. How many lines did you go past on the road today? How many cars did you go by? How many leaves were on all the trees that you went by? There's too much information. We see things all day, all night. How many words did you say? How many thoughts did you have? How do you talk to yourself inside your head? Like, these are awarenesses that we don't even quantify it. We can't even begin. In fact, most of it just goes completely deleted. They say that we have anywhere between 10,000 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. Depends on your thought processes and how far you go. That's a lot. How many of them are you aware that you're having? How many heartbeats did you have today? How many breaths? How do you breathe? Or are you calm and deliberate in your breathing? How do you do that? Are you aware? There's so many factors on this. So many factors. And we don't pay attention to most of them. It's fascinating how much we don't know ourselves. Yet the observations and the answers are everywhere around us all the time. Now, maybe it's protection, maybe it's safeguards that I don't want to admit to some of the truths that are around me, but do you have awareness that they're even there? And if the answer is no, you cannot make choices to improve something you don't know exists. So I'd say practice just the idea, not getting into the whole thing on what we train for it, but just practice the idea of seeing how much more you can be aware, not even just of all the things that are happening around you, but mostly focus on what is it that you do when you're handling what happens around. We'll get into coping mechanisms, control, we'll get into loss systems and what happens when you start going through big, huge losses in your life, deaths, relationships, traumas, pain, stuff our parents have put us through and how we've learned to deal. We'll get into that stuff, but do you even know what system you operate under? A lot of times when we get into coping, you're going to realize you're still using a system you created when you were 9 years old. You may be 30, 40, 50 years old and still using this tantrum mechanism. Could be anger, denial, bargaining, or depression. You can be in whatever form that may be. This is attack. This gets into retreat or hide. Goes into negotiation or over-explaining or compromise yourself for somebody else. So this gets into sadness and surrender and having no fight. And do you even have an awareness of the systems that you use? How do you talk to people? Does it match a golden rule? There's so many pieces to this, and we can go probably all day with, did you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? How do you justify doing things that you know go against the way you like to be treated? Yet it's okay because. Do you even pay attention to the things you say? Do you challenge any of your belief systems to know if they're authentic, or do you just create limiting ones so you never have to be accountable? Damn. They're right there, but do you even see it? Do we use justifications or excuses, the ones in the way like, well, this is what I've always done, or the way that I was raised, or, well, I've never seen it done any other way, or nobody taught me? These are exposing that you're using your default program and you're not aware. You're not aware of a way to upgrade, not aware of a way that you can improve, and you're not even looking for it. Not aware. Nothing changes if nothing changes, yet we want everything to be better, and we're doing the exact same thing. And are you aware that you're changing nothing but wanting different things? Opportunities don't show up by going, hey, we're going to have to change it. Now, there's rock bottom moments and things that push you out of the patterns, but people try and stay complacent, safe, secure, convenient, oftentimes creating their own prison to make it so they don't have to take any more damage or be hurt from anybody else. But this also blocks out good. Can you see it? It's all over the place, all over the place. And I challenge you today to go on mission, to try to raise your level of awareness of how much can you see, but more importantly, how much you're choosing to handle things in what specific ways. Just pay attention to it. We're going to get into the ways in different podcast episodes that we're going to do, and especially with other people. I'll be having, I know Les McDaniel's on from the Bearded Wisdom. I've got other episodes that we have for anxiety and how to fight that with, I know, Nicole Janton and other people. We'll have more people on, and I'll also be putting up calls that I do when I'm coaching, and you can hear how we sort out different words, and you can listen to the processes that we do for taking a word like trust and saying, what is it? And let's break it down. What is respect? What is it? And how do I make it so I can have healthy boundaries or make healthy requests and agreements with people that I care about around this word that I don't even know how to quantify? These are all coming up in the future, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of different types of content. So if you like just one style of content, this is going to be a show that probably pisses you off. And are you aware of why you're even getting mad? Because I need things to be my certain way. Pay attention. The awareness is everywhere around us, all over the place, and you're surrounded by opportunities. A lot of times, just a little reframing of your mind will change the battlefield completely. You can turn the tide by just changing something that's like, I'm stuck in this small town to go, but you have internet. This means you're international whenever you want. We're only as limited as we believe, but we don't even know what our limiting beliefs are and where they came from, and most of the time, they aren't even ours. These generational curses are what we carry our whole lives, and we make all these excuses for. Do you see it? Do you even know? Or is it just part of the default? This is how it's always been. It's how my parents were. It's how I am. And if it works, why change it? But is it really working? And what dreams did you have to sacrifice so you can keep this idea? The answers are there. And the solutions are all around us. The opportunities are around us. So turn up your awareness. Have fun with this one. Leave some notes in the comments. Also, check out some of the stuff. If you want some do-it-yourself options, check out our stuff on our website. The links are going to be in the bio, so just check out all of this. So we got our links everywhere, but click on our stuff. Check out some things. If you want to join one of our groups and do some real hardcore training, that's what we do. It's not coping, it's combat. And I will teach you how to turn the tide of the battlefield in your mind and give you a damn fighting chance to have the awareness. You have the choice to change it at any moment. Everything's a choice. This is the way. All right, warriors, go crush it. How do you learn who you really are? It's not found in books. It's found on the battlefield.